Hi, my name is Quivurr and I'm developing a game called STONED. It's a turn-based indie RPG inspired by Undertale, Yellow, Deltarune, and South Park: The Stick of Truth. Now I know what you're thinking, another quirky indie RPG inspired by Undertale, but I bet you've never seen a quirky indie RPG inspired by Undertale where the main characters are addicted to weed. That's right, this game is called STONED because the main characters are stoners, and it's also about magic stones, but that's spoiling too much, so I won't get into that. In this first devlog, I want to introduce myself, my team, and the game's story, characters, and game mechanics. Firstly, I would like to introduce my two friends who are helping co-create the game as well as help write the story. The first person I would like to introduce is the moded guy, who's helping out with the game's story and with some of its programming. Secondly, I'd like to introduce STONED Studios, our second co-creator of the game, and he's also helping out with the game's story, and additionally, he's also helping make some of the game's tile sets too. He has also worked on a very cool and epic FNAF fan game called Blood and Gears as an environment artist. Next, I would like to talk about the game's story and its characters. The three main characters in the game are all lazy and addicted to weed and live in the hood. The main protagonist is named Lil Bro, yes, that's his actual name, and he's a tiger. He's quite innocent and kind, but that'll change over the course of the game. The second protagonist of the game is Lil Bro's big brother, and you'll never guess what his name is. It's Big Bro. And he is a lot more tougher and meaner than his brother. He's also the only one taking care of his brother since their parents are, dead. And finally we have Cole, who isn't biologically related to the brothers, he's just friends with them. He's the white kid that just hangs around with them, but they all do get along very well. Now the actual plot of the game involves Lil Bro, Big Bro, and Cole accidentally coming across the soul of an ancient cosmic wizard, and the soul splits into three and then possesses them, giving them the ability to cast spells and use magic. This eventually leads to them finding out that they're the prophesied resurrectors of the cosmic wizard, and once they do resurrect him, the wizard will bring eternal peace onto Earth. But because they're lazy stoners who don't want to do anything more than having to get up from the couch to walk outside and pay the plug for a new blunt, they decide to go on an adventure to get the wizard's soul taken out of them so that they don't have to worry about the responsibility of resurrecting the wizard. And that's the plot of STONED. I missed out a lot of extra details, but I don't want to spoil everything, so until the game comes out, that's all the info of the plot that you will get. Now finally, I would like to talk about some of the core gameplay mechanics of this game, specifically the battle system of the game. As I mentioned, STONED is a turn-based RPG game, so I'm sure you could guess how the battle system of this game would work. However, one thing that I really don't like about turn-based RPGs is the amount of damage you take being up to random chance. In a game like Earthbound, for example, which STONED is also inherently inspired by, you are able to take damage almost every turn unless the enemy misses you, which is up to random chance. And the amount of damage the enemy does to you can also be more or less dependent on if they're able to land a critical attack on you, which is also up to random chance. I really don't like that taking damage in that game is up to random chance, because it means that there's no way to improve your skills to avoid taking damage completely. One game that gets around this really well is Undertale, which I've already said STONED is inspired by, where instead of the enemy just dealing damage to you, you are actually thrown into a little bullet hell minigame where you have to dodge bullets in order to avoid taking damage. I love this approach so much because it actually allows you to improve your skills throughout the game, to the point where if you are able to memorize enough attack patterns and increase your hand-eye coordination skills enough, you can end up taking 0 damage during fights. So because I really like the battle system approach for Undertale, I decided to do something similar with STONED. It took me a while to come up with this idea, but I am very proud of it. So in STONED, when it's time for an enemy to attack you, you'll be thrown into a minigame where you have a mini version of yourself that can move up and down, and across the board is a mini sprite of the enemy. You are able to hit with your sword or block with your shield, and as you can see, your sword and shield are color coded. That's because enemies can throw 4 types of color coded bullets at you: red, blue, green, and yellow. A red bullet is one you have to hit with your sword in order to deflect, and a blue bullet is a bullet you have to block with your shield in order to deflect. Using this approach to the attack system in the game, it allows for the use of skill and improvement. If you are able to memorize enough attack patterns or are able to increase your hand-eye coordination skills enough, you can minimize the amount of damage you take every turn. I know I said there were 4 different bullet types and only mentioned 2, but that's because I don't really want to spoil the other 2 bullet types because I want them to be a surprise in the game, but I'm sure you can probably guess what they are. So if you really think about it, the game's battle system is basically just a glorified version of Pong. I am super happy with the concept though, and I hope you guys will find it as fun to play against as I do. And that's Stoned. Before the video ends, I do just quickly want to talk about our amazing team that's helping us with this game. Firstly, we have Striker, or known as SIMCOX, who is composing all of the music in the game, and I just can't stress enough how hard the tracks he has made are. He's doing all of this work for free, and the stuff he does is just genuinely impressive. I can't wait for you guys to hear this game's entire OST. I've been playing some of the game's tracks in the background of this video, but that's only a fraction of the stuff he's done so far, and there's so much more music. In the description, I've put links to his music website and his YouTube channel so you can check out his stuff. Next, I would like to talk about our sprite artists KHALED and Octave. KHALED is actually developing his very own Roblox game, and I've left a link to that in the description. And finally, Octave, who was our newest member of the team, has been pumping out sprites for this game like it's light work. You'll definitely be seeing both his and KHALED's work in future devlogs, and I'm sure you've seen some of it in this devlog too. I've left a link to both Octave's Twitter and Blue Sky so you can check out some of their art. I would really recommend you go check out some of these guys' stuff, because they are generally doing some awesome stuff outside of just working on this game. I've also left a link to STONED Studios and the Moded Guys' Twitter accounts, and to Blood and Gears, which is the FNAF fan game I mentioned that STONED Studios worked on if you've been paying attention. But anyway, I really hope you like what you've seen and heard here today. If any of this sounds even the tiniest bit interesting to you, then please do subscribe and like the video. It will really help out the game a lot. And also you can follow me and the Stoned Game account on Twitter and Blue Sky if you'd like to get updates about the game outside of just the YouTube devlogs. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye!